basically I went to the Bay Area Women's and Children's Center to interview Midge, my mentor. And what what was supposed to be a 5-minute video turned out to be an hour and a half long conversation. It's just so exciting, and the light and love and humor that she embodies is just so inspirational, and it just makes you want to do something. It makes you want to be, or for me, it just made me want to be a better person just talking to her. I really hope that you guys get the same feeling.
Yeah. You know, I've thought about this a lot in the last few years. I started doing community service when I was in 6th grade. On the way to my girlfriend's house, there was a church, and one day I went into the church and I asked to talk to the minister. I said that I thought there were some kids in my class that didn't have their family didn't have much money, and I asked if the church would be willing to do a clothing drive that we could give to the school. We've done a clothing closet for the last 35 years since we, opened the center. And it never occurred to me until recently that I really started thinking about this kind of work when I was 10 years old or whatever. So I think it's kind of a part of my DNA. I look at what's going on around me, and I think, what can I do? What can we do? What can the group of people I'm associated with do? What can our city do to change things or to help these people? Okay. When I came to San Francisco, I got a job in the office building next door to Glide Church, so it was in the Tenderloin. I would go out in my lunch hours and walk around the neighborhood. I knew that there were women that lived in the neighborhood, and I saw that children lived in the neighborhood, and there were more and more as the months went on. But I didn't see any women's or children's services. There were a few programs in the Tenderloin at the time, but they were all pretty much for men. I learned that there was this grant available through the Franciscans that have St. Anthony Foundation and St. Boniface Church. I wrote my first ever proposal, and we got funding that we stretched over 2 years to open. We called it at the time Bay Area Women's Resource Center. We were doing so much work with children and families. We changed the name to Bay Area Women's and Children's Center. Well, our center that's in the heart of the Tenderloin, I mean literally in the heart. I'm sitting here looking at the corner that's 4 blocks in all directions, so this is like literally the center of the Tenderloin. This center, we've always had a free clothing closet for women and children. We started a food pantry years ago. We're 35 years old now. Probably started it our 2nd or 3rd year, and so it's a very simple application process, and people can get food, a large food bag with fresh meats and vegetables and fruits and canned goods 4 times a year, and we work with them to find out why they need food as an emergency and see if we can get them into a more stable situation with food for themselves and their families. And also out of this center, we've done the work to get 5 playgrounds built, the recreation center in the neighborhood, the elementary school, which is a 400-student kindergarten through 5th grade elementary school. We have a scholarship fund for kids that live in the Tenderloin that want to go on to college. We have a youth sports initiative, and there are many different sports programs we've done through that, including an ice skating program for Tenderloin kids, a bowling league, and flag football league, a basketball league, and tennis, summer tennis, and during the school year. We have a rugby after-school program, so lots of different sports, because our kids in the Tenderloin mostly live in single rooms, and it's really important that they not only be active, but that they have that great connection with a coach.
Yeah.
It's really encouraging. I think that sharing the stories of people that have a variety of needs, and in many cases through no fault of their own. Just getting the word out there, and people knowing that we have a center and programs that address those things. So it's really sharing the stories, and then people stepping up to say, I'll help with that.